What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Respect the Game podcast. My name is Edward, named after a great man, that being my pops. Shout out to my mama and my granny for helping raise me too. Please make sure you go follow at Emax Stats for all your up-to-date high school, pro, and collegiate sports coverage. We'll not disappoint. We'll keep you up to date on all that is going on in the beautiful sports world. Not at full strength currently. As y'all see, it's just three of us, 3-on-3 tournament. Y'all know how we get down. We're gonna make it happen one way or another. But what is a podcast, man, without your brethren?
Big brother Iron Man, search Ironheart Izzo, Twitter, Instagram, Cash App, whatever, man. Through the woods, near you, all that good stuff. Let's go.
Yo, it is the host with the most that blows the most smoke. Black Peace, the rap plug, the hip hop plug. You already know. Be sure to go check it out. Be sure to go check out Talking Smoke on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your dope podcast from. That has never happened in the history of me doing my introduction. That's how you know it's been a long time since I've been on the pod for a minute. So yeah, I'm back at it. Let's get it.
Nah, bro, I guess it's the new house, your lighting, your setup is just it's impeccable, bro. It's impeccable. Nah, shout out to our brother Sedacious who is not in the building. We're gonna say currently. Hopefully he's able to log on. Obviously he on the road, getting in from work. But definitely hope he gets on. But if not, we're gonna hold it down in his absence. But yeah, man, we got a great episode. We're getting ready to have getting ready to kick off. The playoffs are here. We sitting here watching the play-in tournament before we started the podcast. As we all know, the playoffs of the NBA is the most wonderful time of the year. It's not actually Christmas. Um, yeah, a lot of conversations in the group chat as of recently. That definitely made today's episode highly anticipated. And I would say the first conversation that popped up in the group chat after last week's episode was after Jokic solidified him having a triple double season, which sparked the conversation of is Jokic surpassing, or has he already surpassed the great Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon? And Black Peace, you brought this conversation up, so I just want to clear the runway to let you elaborate or allow us inside your thought process as to how you're processing this Hakeem Olajuwon versus Jokic debate before we interject and give our 2 cents. So the floor is yours, my brother. The floor is yours.
First and foremost, all due respect to the great Hakeem Olajuwon, the Houston great, but
NBA legend,
but
NBA great.
I will say, at the pace, rate, and the offensive firepower that he just brought since it's been unleashed, I feel like he is well on his way to being the best center in the NBA. To ever play. I do feel like the only thing which I feel like at this point that there's no point in really overexerting yourself and dedicating it to that lacks in his game is his defensive skill, defensive everything. I feel like he has a couple little things he has in his back pocket that kind of helps him, but for the most part he's really kind of lively on defense, which is you
Kind
know
of a liability.
which is definitely something you don't want in to have to use against a person you're saying is being the greatest player of all time. But the level of offensive
Well, you weren't saying he's the greatest
production
player all the time. You saying greatest. You got him in the
center,
argument for greatest center of all time, right?
yes.
Okay.
And it's more of just like I understand he lacks on defense, but the offensive ability and effortlessness and oh, just if he was born to play center, even if he didn't know he was going to play center, he was racing horses. He was born to play center. Just the way he adapted to it, understood the role, understands it. It's It's one of the things he took it to that next level to where you didn't understand that a big man could pass. Because now big men are getting more involved in passing and understand that that's something they can add to their repertoire to a more higher level than what it already was. Yes, centers were passing, and you'll get like maybe 5, 6 assists from a great center, but Jokic stepped it up to like, hey, you can average double digit assists. And I feel like that kind of is with the way the game is being evolved to, which is more offensive dominant to get playing defense. I feel like he's catering to the way the game is now, to where he's taking on that GOAT center level, in my opinion. Because back in the day, defense was a ability that you needed. Nowadays, you technically don't need to have a strong defense to be the best player in the league right now. And it's been proven 3 times.
Well, your argument kind of all over the place. First, you saying best player in the league, then you saying best center of all time. So I'm not really sure what we're talking about at this point, but I'm gonna pick holes
Best center of all time is what I'm saying
through
overall.
the
Hey, hold
best center
on.
of
Before
all time
y'all
thing.
continue real quick, Darnell, I don't know if it's Wi-Fi now, but you like real choppy.
Um,
You
but
good
no, that
now.
was a great
I'm
Hey
question.
just,
JD. Or is that Bayland? That's JD.
but my fault is, you could take out my fault.
Um, Funny how you leave off, the other side of the ball, defense. It's a big thing in basketball. And I say that because, Hakeem Olajuwon, I believe, has some defensive player of the year hardware in his home. Amongst one of few people in the history of the NBA that has recorded a quadruple double, um, being known as the best offensive player. First off, known for having this footwork of big man in the history of ever. That's number one. Number two, the defensive prowess, leading the league multiple years in blocks, and again having a defensive player of the year. And I believe you may have two of those, if I'm not mistaken. Also, with the addition of the MVPs and the Finals MVPs, and he has multiple championships. So, number one, he's not a better winner than Jokic. Or excuse me, Jokic isn't a better winner than Hakeem. Number one. Number two, Jokic isn't a better defender in any life than Hakeem. And then number three, he can do everything that Jokic can do. Could you say maybe Jokic has a better jump shot? Of course, he takes way more threes than Hakeem ever did, but it's never to say that Hakeem didn't have a jump shot. He just didn't have an outside jump shot because it wasn't called for them, especially late '80s, early '90s, to play that style or that brand of basketball. So if you want to, tell me Jokic is a better shooter than Hakeem, I'll appease you there, but barely, right? Just for the fact that Jokic can shoot the long ball, but all in all, man, I don't think it's paid much to me. Again, just due to the accolades, the awards, and just your eyes, right? Because I hear you saying offensively. Offensively, do I think Jokic clears Hakeem? Clear is a very strong word. I think he's um, as it stands now, because his offensive game doesn't have any holes as far as the facilitation is concerned, and he can shoot the long ball. I would say his offensive game is a bit better than Hakeem, but I think that's just due to the state in which basketball is in currently. If you drop Hakeem into today's league, I think he shoots the three ball well. I think he adds that to his arsenal. So I mean, all time, I'm gonna still take Hakeem as the best center, and I'm gonna just take Shaq's word for it. Right, Shaq has religiously said on multiple podcasts or multiple platforms that Hakeem has always given him problems. He couldn't hold a candle to him. He gives him that title of, you know, one of, if not the best center that he's ever played. Um, and again, we're gonna exclude Kareem Abdul-Jabbar
Okay,
from
thank
this,
God.
which is
Jesus
exactly right,
Christ.
which is
It
crazy to
was
even think
killing
because
me.
it's just like,
I'm like, who?
is he better than Kareem
Do y'all know who
Abdul-Jabbar?
the
You
I
know
think
what
real
the
I
pace that
mean?
he's going is more of what I'm paying attention to, rather than like it's not the end of his career yet. He still has a chance to get
who?
more MVPs. He doesn't really show any signs of
Was
really
playing?
close to slowing down yet. That's where my argument is really coming from, him being the best center of all time. All time is going to be at the end of the day. I'm not saying right necessarily at this second. I'm saying, dude, he's
I
working
think
on
at
his
the end of
fourth
the day, that
MVP.
nigga will never win a defensive player of the year. And by the looks of their team, I don't think that nigga will be back into the finals anytime soon. I think that window is closed. So the nigga will probably go down with one championship. He's gonna have multiple MVPs, which would be cool or whatever for individual accolades, but I don't believe that equates to him being better than Kareem or Hakeem.
I think Jokic has definitely earned the title of one of those players that you can't count out when it comes to the playoffs. I'm sorry, I
Jokic
can't just
better than
let you
Shaq
say
all
that about
time.
Jokic. I felt he definitely earned that.
Thank you, Lord. I'm like, oh my God,
Is Jokic
There's
better
bro,
not
than
many
Shaq
bro.
all
players that
time?
have that,
Why are
and I
we
think he's
here,
one of
bro?
them.
Why are we here
He's
right
he's
now, bro?
always competed in the playoffs every single
Is
year since at least
Jokic
2020.
better than Shaq all time? Yes or no?
Not at all,
What was that?
bro. I think
Is Jokic better than Shaq all time? Yes or no?
If I'm competing him with, well, at the end of the day, if I'm comparing him to
Do not give me
Olajuwon,
that.
I have no choice but to say that, don't I?
oh man,
Okay, that's just what I
ouch.
want to hear. I just want to hear you definitively
But
say
at
it.
the end,
So
I'm
you're
not
dying
saying
on the
at
You
this
hill.
know
very
what?
moment.
He's
I'm
on
saying
Mount
he has the
Rushmore.
potential to
He's on
be
Mount
the greatest
Rushmore at
center of
least.
all time.
He's on Mount Rushmore because you got Kareem.
Is it not fair to
You
say a
got
player
Kareem,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Hakeem. I'm sorry. He's on Mount. Jokic is on Mount Rushmore because you got Kareem, Hakeem, Shaq, Jokic. That's
Are we? Is Jokic better than Wilt?
What
Like, we got some
um,
people to like. Come on, bro. Like,
I, hey,
let's
Bill
let's
Russell wasn't a
stop
center,
with the
was he?
greatest center of all time because all those centers that I named actually play defense, actually anchored
who plays
multiple championship
what
teams
elite? Is not many elite
defensively.
players in the league in general that play any
I don't
defense.
care about today's players, bro. You're talking about all time. You excluded him from
But you
that,
know
or
that
you put him in
defense
the
is
all
dying
time
before our
category.
eyes.
If you want to be
150
all
point games
time,
have been happening before our eyes on multiple occasions.
okay,
120
again,
point games have been happening.
oh, that's cool, bro. He's the best center in the league today. I'll give you that, hands down.
Facts.
Again, that's not even a debate in my eyes. But
Yeah,
the bigger debate is you saying that he's the best center of all time, as if Hakeem, Kareem, Wilt, or Shaq just never walked or breathed air on God's earth.
I'm
That's
foreseeing
crazy to
at this
me.
point, man. I mean, I'm looking at the pace
I'll
of
give
it.
you this.
At this
If you even want to
pace,
say this, he's the most skilled center of all time, which is I kind of think that's what you want to say. And I'll even give you a pass to backtrack and say that as opposed to just being the greatest or the best center of all time. I will give you he's the most skilled center of all time, just as far as offensive skill set. I don't think that's even a debate. Offensive skill set, you can't rival Jokic. He has a mid-post game, mid-range, can shoot the three, obviously back to the basket, can turn over both shoulders, floaters. He has it all. Can facilitate with the best of them, walking triple-double nightly. Greatest offensive skill set of in history. However, a holistic all-around game that has no holes and has no flaws. I just named you a player. The King's game didn't have any holes. I'm just being real, bro. Because again, when you say all time, we have to encompass and include everything that goes with that, which means, unfortunately, the defensive side of the ball for your argument. So that's just where I lie.
A
do we
point that
see a
I
future? Do we see a future where
No,
no? I mean, no. I'm saying the future of the NBA. Well, if that's the case, there will be no other greatest of all time because the way that the league crafting to, there will be no defense. That's what I'm saying.
well, somebody win the defensive player of the year, Darnell.
But what I'm
well,
saying
They
is
still
there will
giving
be
out
no
that
other
award.
greatest player of all time in
They
the
still
future, is
have
what I'm
defensive
saying. Because the
stats. They
defense
still keep
is
track of
evaporating
steals,
before our eyes in the
blocks,
league.
deflections. They still do all of that. So
well,
I hear
see,
what you're saying in regards to the rules that, of course, because offense sells tickets to the novice fan, right? Who doesn't really know basketball, who's not going to enjoy a greatly defended game, right? Because nobody wants to see a fucking score of 81 to 84, which is a common score that you used to see back in the early 2000s in the 1990s or in the 80s, right? I mean, of course. So you again, it's not going to be as much defense played as it was back then. However, it does not prevent you from sliding your feet and being able to stay in front of somebody and either impede their progress, or stop them from scoring, or block them, or steal the ball away from them in a defensive capacity and be dominant in doing that.
With that being said, if any kind of defensive a super turnaround would happen right now for Jokic, he has no chance to be in the greatest of all time.
You saying defensive turnaround, bro? Defense is a mentality. It's literally an attitude. It's a want
He
to.
has
And
stepped
Yo
up
and,
on his
and
defense. He has
Jokic
like three and a
already
half
10
or
years in the
two and a
league.
half
I don't
steals a
think
game.
10 years in I don't think an old dog is really gonna be learning new tricks like that, bro. I can see
That's what I'm saying though. Like at the end of the day, it's pretty much you're saying he's pretty much cooked from that standpoint of being the greatest of all time. Because
you
like,
playing the
bro,
hypothetical game, but what if he
you've already
turns
committed
into
so much on offense. There's no way for you to.
there's no way to sway
It's
me
over. I feel what you're
because
saying.
I don't believe all of a sudden it's 30s that it's gonna become his stout defensive presence. You know what I mean? Like I don't foresee him doing that. He's not gonna make an all defensive team. He's not gonna win defensive player of the year. That's just not gonna happen, bro. He has to hang his head offensively because physically he's a bit slew footed in regards to moving his feet. I don't think he has the physical traits to be an elite defender. Can he be a good defender? Obviously, of course, anybody can be a good defender. That just really take effort. Effort and knowing angles. For real, if we being technical, but again, what you gonna tell a nigga who is the most skilled center of all time who can literally do everything offensively on a basketball court? You're not gonna really tell him much. So I don't think he wakes up and starts playing dominant defense, and I'm not expecting him to. That doesn't nick him from me thinking that he's the most skilled offensive center ever. He's just not the best center ever. That's it. I think those two, Kyrie is the most skilled player ever to me, right?
the
Just from a
purest hooper of them all.
standpoint. However, I do not believe Kyrie is the best player of all time. And I think everybody on planet Earth would agree with me on that. But I think it's a lot of people that lay on the side, and I'm bringing this up for a reason. But I do think it's people that stand on the side with me to say, I ain't gonna lie, Kyrie is the most skilled player that I've ever seen with a basketball in his hand. Right? So it's a difference between the two. I cannot admonish Jokic's greatness and still give him a compliment in regards to what he is great at. But the greatest, I think, maybe being a prisoner of the moment, which is cool. We do that shit a lot in sports, you know. You think you're seeing the best shit since sliced bread or ice cubes, you know what I mean? But I
All
just,
right. So
man,
here are their stats first 10 years. This is just the first 10 years for Hakeem. Not in it only includes one championship, not the second one from the back to back, the repeat. So first 10 years for Jokic, one NBA championship, one finals MVP, three-time MVP, six-time all-star, and a five-time all NBA guy. Those are the bulk of his like heavyweight accolades. Hakeem first 10 years. One championship, one finals MVP, one league MVP, eight-time All-Star, five-time All NBA, three-time All Defensive Team, and two Defensive Player of the Year awards.
mm, I knew he had to. That's gonna be tough, bro. Yeah, run away and hide.
He made it's just bad timing on his part. You got to stay home. It looks why you running, Darnay?
You
Why you
You
see, I
gotta
running,
thought he
stay
bro?
did
home
that.
and
I thought he did it on purpose.
stay home and take that belt.
I'm
Now
like,
you gotta reread this.
He
Now
heard
you gotta
two D's
reread.
and left.
Yeah,
But
reread that to that young nigga, man. He walked out. Reread that.
I was
um
trying to have to straighten stuff. I get a little bit of straightening. I apologize. Go ahead one more time. I heard most
okay.
of it, but I want to make sure I'm accurate.
All right. For the listeners, Jokic first 10 years in the league. One championship, one finals MVP, three-time MVP of the league, six-time All-Star, five-time All NBA. Hakeem, one championship, one finals MVP, one league MVP, eight-time All-Star,
Mm, mm,
five-time All NBA,
mm,
three-time All Defensive Team,
mm,
and a two-time Defensive Player of the Year. If
mm.
you're respecting the game on all fronts, not specifically you, Darnell, but if you're respecting the game on all fronts, you cannot have recency bias and be a prisoner of the moment. You have to respect both sides of the ball, and Hakeem clearly by a landslide outweighs Jokic on the defensive end. So whatever you think Jokic's impact is offensively, multiply that with a little bit of extra on defense for Hakeem. Because like people are gonna take well he does the assist. Okay, well his impact through assists, let's look at Hakeem's impact on defense compared to those assists. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
I can definitely say he's the greatest offensive center of all time, and that may be next episode.
Nigga, I literally just said that. So I mean,
Okay, just
you could
making
either
sure.
come to the
Just making
party
sure. I didn't
with
know
me and
I
say
didn't
it
detail it
today,
correctly.
or
That's all. That's all. And you detailed a certain way. I was making sure. I just simplified it and made sure.
I said, yeah, he's the best. He has the best offensive skill set of any center ever. He can do everything from an offensive standpoint. He has no holes in his game offensively at all. I
So no,
will
I
give you
got you.
that.
Bet.
But again,
Okay. Hey.
we play both sides of the ball, bro, and we can't just hand two defensive players of the year. That's tough. I didn't know he had two the first 10 years. That's extremely tough. And you got an MVP in there and a finals MVP in
Also,
there.
too, the other side of the argument, right? Who Hakeem had to go up against in his era compared to who Jokic has to go up
Michael
against.
Jeffrey Jordan. Can I interest you in him?
Not really. Asterisk. Asterisk. Technically,
For Hakeem,
for that in particular situation, it never existed.
I'm almost certain Hakeem has played against way more Hall of Fame centers than Jokic has played against.
Oh no!
I'm
I don't know.
thousand
Absolutely,
percent
absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. I was thinking about you saying Jordan, and that's what I was saying. I was like,
No, I'm talking about
that's a
matchups at
whole
the
weird
center position. That's what
situation.
I'm talking
No, I
about.
got you. Absolutely, I agree with
He
that.
still won in Michael Jordan's NBA. Did he or did he not?
No, he did not.
He
I think
did,
I
Jordan was
Darnell.
I
Fun
retired.
know
fact. Fun
I know
fact.
when
The
Jordan
Rockets
retired
have
for
a
those
winning
3
record
years.
versus the Bulls. The Rockets have a winning
Facts,
Yeah,
record
but
versus the
man.
Bulls.
it's something that we just can't say nothing about, bro. It's that Chris Paul game 5 situation.
I got
We'll
you. But
never know.
It was the
let's
first
move
one.
on. Let's move on. So
The first one has an asterisk. Sorry.
hear me out.
I got a asterisk by nothing Hakeem
I'm
got going.
saying the Hakeem Olajuwon Jordan competition comparison. That's it. Done. It's my nothing else.
No asterisks in my book, but anyway.
All
Because
right.
Jordan was
So
retired that 1 year.
Ain't my fault that Jordan wouldn't play baseball. Anybody tell that nigga to go do that shit?
Houston
We
Rockets are a 2 seed. The Oklahoma City Thunder are a 1 seed. As we're talking about the play-in game, you talk about which positions or which team you would rather play. Despite Oklahoma City being a 1 seed, I am of the belief in the playoffs, it boils down to obviously game plan and the game slows down. I think the perfect game plan for going up against OKC is to either completely take Shai out of the game and force everybody else to try to beat you, or you stay home on everybody and say, hey, Shai, get your consistent 30, and we'll find a way to beat y'all by 12 as we don't allow anybody else to make an impact on the game. For that reason, if I'm a team, I'm going to take my chances playing against OKC, despite the optics of what they appear to be as a regular season team. But as we all know, a regular season is 1,010% different than the playoffs. I believe the Rockets I believe the Houston Rockets are a more dangerous team in the playoffs compared to the Oklahoma City Thunder, simply because I don't believe you could try to pinpoint and find a way to stop us. Jalen Green is more than capable of putting the team on his back. Sangoon, Baby Joker, is more than capable of putting the team on his back. The toughness that Ime Udoka has infused this team with his playoff experience, having experience from the Celtics, I think we are a more dangerous team in the first round for a first round matchup than the Oklahoma City Thunder because I think the game plan is very simple to execute versus OKC as compared to not necessarily knowing how to limit the Houston Rockets, who are a 2 seed for a reason. You don't become a 2 seed in the West and be a fluke team. How do y'all feel about that? Am I crazy for that take?
I don't think you're crazy at all, bro. I don't think the Thunder have a secondary option who you can rely on to win you a game or two, which is something that you need in the playoffs. If you look around the league, you don't have a lot of teams that have dominant second option, like the Lakers or to a lesser extent the Clippers, due to James Harden's historic performances within the playoffs. But another conversation for another day. But I just don't believe in the Thunder. All that historically great, high defensive win shares, all this good stuff. Who is a viable second consistent option to score? And I know Jalen Williams made his first All-Star game this year. I do not believe in him. He is not going to get you to the promised land. And I think the Rockets have top three coach in the league, and he's going to be able to scheme people. We're going to be able to play through Sengun or play through, Jalen Green, just depending on the specific, matchup or series. We're going to have a multitude of adults within the room in regards to a listening ear. Fran Van Fleet
Championship pedigree,
is
Fred
a
Van Fleet.
championship point guard that we cannot ignore, who notoriously played very big in big moments, including his finals performance where he hit close to a record-setting threes. How many threes that he hit in the playoffs? Um,
A lot.
you got to. I just think that they're going to be a tougher out than OKC. I think OKC will definitely get bounced in the second round, bro. They got second round exit written all over them. To me, I don't foresee that you're not gonna be able to SGA your way to the finals because they ain't all them fouls that you was getting in the regular season, brother. Ain't gonna be you're gonna be looking at the ref getting mad. They ain't gonna be calling none of that stuff. Ask James Harden how all that foul baiting shit go. I love James. I'm not a James hater. To anybody who want to come for me after this, I love James. I'm a James Harden fan.
So
Again, ask him how
Shai
them fouls go in the playoffs.
Shea only missed 6 games this season, and without Shea in those 6 games, OKC went 5-1. Now, some would probably use that as low hanging fruit to be like they won without him during the season. All right, here's the teams they beat. All right, let's start with the Dallas Mavericks, a play-in team. Let's start with Portland, didn't make the playoffs. Let's go with Philadelphia 76ers, tragedy. Let's go with the Phoenix, even
Dumpster fire.
worse tragedy. Let's go with
I don't think they
Utah.
worse than the Sixers. I won't put them. At least they stars played, bro.
Utah, complete tragedy. Pelicans, more tragedy. So the 6 games that they had wasn't even against reputable playoff teams. So like that's it, null and void. Um, Darnell, sir, we want to bring you front and center again. To the front, black piece. All right, man. I'm gonna try to scroll through. I'll find the edit. I'll find the edit, but we basically we have you on record beginning of the season saying that there's nothing good left for James Harden to contribute to the game of basketball. Since you said that James Harden finished this season averaging 22 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and he's shooting 40% from the field and 35% from three. He has his team not excuse me, I was about to say Sixers. He has the Clippers as a playoff team. I forget what
Oh
seed they
man,
are right now. Let me try to look that up real quick. What
you
seed
know
are
what
they?
this? You know what that remind me of? Have y'all seen that clip of Colin Cowherd when
Talking
he
about
goes,
Jordan that will never
well, no, 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 no. When he
Braun.
goes, LeBron, we got Ben Simmons now. We're good.
I didn't see.
Bro,
Tell you what.
please just go look up Colin Cowherd, Ben Simmons. It's literally gonna pop up like,
I'm,
bro, he
I'm
had
tell you.
some of the worst. I'm gonna let you go, Darnell, not on my Kanye West shit. He had some of the milk aging, the worst milk age takes in the history of sports commentary. In reg- we're gonna talk about that after the part. Shit, we can maybe get a segment of bashing him on the internet. I don't know if we'll get clipped for that, but we
Yeah,
literally just gonna dissect the shit that he says, and it was
but
cinema.
yeah, James Harden. Also, mind you, James Harden, 16 years in the league, has never missed the playoffs. One-time MVP, one-time six-man of the year, 10-time NBA
Sound like
All-Star.
a winner to me, huh, Daisy?
Uh, but no, James Harden this season, 22 points per game, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, with 40% from the field and 35%. Also shooting 87% from free throw and again 35% from three. And he has led the Clippers to a fifth seed in the West with 50 wins. After again, mind you, ladies and gentlemen, Darnell said there was nothing left for James Harden good to offer to a team. Darnell, the floor is yours, sir.
I can't let my boy die on that hill alone though, because
No, no,
You with him too?
there will be no bail money sent tonight. No bail. No bail.
I can't let him because I kind of second with him a little bit. You know what I mean? I ain't
That's
gonna
why I made
lie,
the comment.
he did go all the way out on the ledge, and I was like, man, it sound like you still mad at this nigga. But I nevertheless I was still riding with my boy. So yeah,
All
James
right.
Harden
So
proved us broke wrong.
it's the most wonderful time of the year. It is playoff time, folks. First and foremost, congratulations on an exceptional regular season, James Harden. Congratulations. Okay. 16 years, never missed playoffs. Congratulations. There's something else that goes along with that, sir. In every situation where they needed you past that regular season, brother, you have failed. You have failed. You have failed, sir. You failed with OKC. You failed with Houston on multiple tries. You failed in Brooklyn. And at this
Has
point,
he failed, or
I
was
really don't want to be a
KD
hater,
and Russ
but it seems
unable
like you're gonna
to?
fail in Los Angeles. Um, I feel like it's a turning point where he's gonna feel like Kawhi, take over. It's your time. You know, Paul, do what you were doing in regular season, take over. And it's not gonna happen. But no, I will definitely give you all the credit. I was totally wrong for the regular season, 1,000% wrong. Absolutely. I thought he was gonna be probably crumbled to the dust. I'm not gonna lie to you. I had horrible intentions for that gentleman. But prove me wrong. But now they're here in this postseason area where I know and I have witnessed him with my own two eyeballs
You
of
hear
his
that, Pookie?
failures.
Sound
You're
like the
gonna see.
goalpost screeching past the grass. Somebody moving it because now it ain't about the regular season no more.
No,
It's about the
absolutely,
playoffs.
totally. I was wrong. We don't understand. I was wrong. It is what it is. I was absolutely wrong.
It's
I
like a
even said I thought he was
backhand.
going to
It's
crumble
like a
to the dust.
backhand
To
It's a
be where
compliment.
he's
backhanded
at, to
compliment.
expect him to be where he is, to be no, absolutely. I was a bonehead for not expecting regular season James Harden to be regular season James Harden. That was my fault. That was very idiotic of me. But this postseason, oh, it's a lot of things. But all that, just like it happens every year. He woos you and wows you and 50 points and all this beautiful stuff and triple doubles. And then that postseason happens and the reality happens. And it's just like, okay, James Harden, I see why you are at the value that you're at. So that's how I feel about it.
And what value is that, by the way? Remind our listeners,
You're one of the greatest,
because he's a
one of the
future
greatest regular season shooting guards of all
first
time.
ballot Hall of Famer. I just want to
And
put that
Hall of
out there.
Famer. Absolutely. But you'll never win a championship. You, as a leader, will never win a championship. It's been too many opportunities. Too many. How many? 16 opportunities,
Man,
sir?
I'm not
16 opportunities to win. And you didn't. You didn't. I remember multiple air balls in a finals when they needed you against the Miami Heat. I watched those air balls. Air balls.
He was coming off the bench,
regular
bro.
season. I don't give a
Are we gonna hold
snap
Kevin Durant
what
or
season it
Russell
was.
Westbrook to any standard?
Who
when they was in
airball?
their prime.
What? They
But let me
needed
guess,
this
James Harden
man.
airballs is the reason that they lost the
Westbrook and
finals.
KD were actually. Are you? Anyways,
Yeah, I know.
anyways.
Harden was the reason the Thunder lost the finals. He's the reason that Rockets lost
Actually, yes,
because yeah,
I
James
can kind of
Harden
say
is a
that.
part of
I
fucking
can
Chris
kind of really
Paul's
say that.
hamstring, and James Harden decided to tear his hamstring off the bone in a vicious game 5 that fucking clipped
So
us
game
from
1, 2, 3,
any
and 4 when
hopes
he
of the
airballed in those
finals.
games,
That's
it
James
was tore
Harden's
off the
fault,
ball.
right? And it's also James Harden's fault that he got on a bullshit team with Joel Embiid, who decided not to be fucking present for the Boston series
And let's
when he
never
dropped
forget,
2 back-to-back 40 pieces.
let's never forget, James Harden gave Joel Embiid everything, and Joel Embiid wasted
He
it.
did, bro, against Boston, where we needed Joel. You can't ask him to do more than that, bro. 2 back-to-back 40 bombs with no help.
He went
With
dumb.
no help. Joel wasn't out there.
He
But
went.
yeah,
I
that
remember
was
that.
James' fault too. I think context matters, and I don't think you're telling a full story, bro. But I wish nothing but the best for James Harden. I hope they lose if they play the Lakers or the Rockets. But if they play anybody, I pray they beat sleeves on them.
You better pray hard, brother. You better pray hard.
My God is
You
an
better pray
awesome
hard,
Chris
God.
G.
He
Paul, Cliff
reigns.
Paul, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Lakers and
You
That
better
one.
pray hard.
With Darnell talking about James Harden playoff shortcomings, um, who do y'all feel like going into these playoffs? Who do y'all want to single out, or maybe you're anticipating for them to maybe have a coming out party to maybe identify with them as being a player who has the Mamba mentality?
I kind of been waiting. I've been waiting, and I think we starting to arrive. And I'm gonna just say this name, and I don't really want to explain nothing about it because I've been on this boat, and I feel like by myself for a minute. So now it's finally my time, and I'm kind of finally arriving to this, just a little bit, and we ain't all the way there yet. But I'm going with Jason Tatum.
You say Jason Tatum?
Yeah, I'm going with Jason Tatum.
No, I really can't hear you.
You talking about
Not being
LMA,
funny,
baby
but
daddy?
that wasn't a.
Yeah,
Anyways,
Wow.
yeah.
MMA baby daddy is crazy. LMA. I said MMA.
MMA, LMA, USA.
no, no, real rap, real rap. I think this is the year.
We talking
I think
mentality, right? And that being a Mamba one of the late great Kobe Bean Bryant. Um, I'm gonna say this because I need him tonight, like the air I breathe. I'm gonna actually say somebody who I believe embodies that, especially, and I'm gonna go recency bias over the last 4 to 5 years. Jimmy Butler, when you need him in them playoff series, he's come through. Now, granted, he was outmanned against. You want to talk about one of the most horrible matchups in the finals in regards to just personnel. The Heat didn't match up well against the Lakers because, first off, the Heat haven't had a viable big man since Shaq. No disrespect to Bam, but Bam is 6'9.5" on a good day. He plays bigger than what he is. It's just a bad matchup, bro. Going up against the Lakers that had AD and that with the white on it back in 2020, when he bent over tired, just huffing for air because he's just giving it all that he's got. And then fast forward to 23 when the Nuggets winning again. From a big man's perspective, and just guards, you just don't have the talent to compete with the teams that you're meeting in the finals. You're overperforming, and but again, it's just far as that mentality of never die. I haven't seen nothing close to it again, and I'm going recently. Um, then Jimmy, just a one man pursuit of, I will do this shit by myself if I have to. You know what I mean? And that's somebody who I felt has embodied the Mamba mentality the last 4 to 5 years. And I know that's not exactly what you asked, but I did preface it, you know, with the year timeline there.
Who
Who else
y'all?
y'all feel?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Me, personally, I got somebody on the younger side. Somebody people he's totally earned the radar. Paulo Banchero, man.
You talking about a nigga who ain't
And I
been
knew
in
he's
the
gonna be
damn
responding the way
playoffs?
he's
Let
gonna
him go,
respond.
dog.
I
Let
knew
him
that was
go.
gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen based on anyways. I say it because he had a very strong going the season before he got hurt. Um Also the fact that once France took over and France took the hell over of that team, he managed to be able to take the keys back out of his hand and really just share the wheel with him and really take over. Also, I feel like last year in the playoffs, he did very well against a not as good as this year, but a competitive Cleveland team for being the seed that they were. So I just feel like now I think he got a taste of the playoffs. He's gotten a real good taste of the season. I feel like, especially with his build, is what he brings to the table, being able to pass, rebound, play defense, and be able to score at a high level. I think he's gonna be able to make some noise, man. Now, do I feel like he's gonna get far? Not necessarily, but I think he's gonna do a hell of a performance this playoffs. That's how I feel about it.
He's like, is this Jody, the same Jody that got my boo pregnant?
So let me get this straight. A nigga who hasn't sniffed the playoffs somehow gives you. I can't even make this up, y'all. I don't even have words to combat that. I don't even want to address it
Unless
live
he's going off of
to the
mentality.
minister.
Look, you know what? I appreciate that.
I mean, because the mentality don't necessarily mean you can do it, right? Because when you went Jimmy Butler, I was like, well, Jimmy Butler could never do what Kobe did. That's why I kind of went with Jason Tatum. But I get where you at with
We
mentality.
want to talk about strictly mentality. That nigga Jason Tatum is the most laid back, mellow, I don't give a fuck ass superstar that you ever want to meet. That nigga don't have no Mamba mentality to me just because Kobe his favorite player.
Wait, so you
He ain't
don't feel
show me
like
no
when
killer
Jason,
instinct at all. If
you
anything,
don't
I'm
feel
gonna
like
say
when
Jalen
Jason
Brown
Tatum,
got more Mamba mentality than Jason Tatum, and you can go back and pull up the tape last year. I want Luca taking Luca full court press up the floor, taking it upon himself to make big shots in the clutch. That's what was showing the Mamba mentality to me on that team, not Jason Tatum.
I said we were kind of arriving. We wasn't all the way there yet. I did preface it with that.
Well, somebody who got a mama mentality didn't arrive. They ain't on their way, which is why I have a hard time even answering back to Black Pieces.
Bro,
Well,
I
I
think
think with
Tatum
Jason
is
Banchero
Tatum
a
to
scored
kill you, he can
40
kill
points
you though.
against a very defensive Cleveland team last year in the playoffs.
yeah. He was so good they lost. But anyway,
Game 7.
So you don't think
that's who you
Jason
need the
Tatum
mama
can
shit
turn
the
the switch
most.
on and kill
And
you?
he and that's the
I ain't gonna
point.
lie,
It's
putting
the
up 28 shots is mama mentality. That showed me you care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the point. It's the point of like going out there and being the leader, doing as much as you can. It don't necessarily mean you can go get to a championship. Hell, Kobe didn't get to a championship every year, but it was about the mentality of, man, get my team there. If we lose, we lose. But I'm not stopping. I'm not passing the ball to put it on somebody else's shoulders. It's going to be on my shoulders, and I'm gonna go to the grave with it. That's how I look at the mama mentality. I'm gonna put it on my shoulders and go to the grave with it. Whether it's a pass to the right shot or whatever. I'm not gonna put it, oh, you take over and you do your thing. Like, no, no, no. This is my team, and I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna take over this situation we got going right now. Whether we're 3-1, 1-3, whatever the situation is, like I'm taking over. We get knocked out in the second round, cool. But guess what? I perform my ass off. That's how I look at my mentality. That's what Kobe did. Win, lose, or draw. He's putting up
um,
25 points plus shots.
Putting my bias aside and rooting for the Rockets, I believe the two best finals matchups are the Lakers and the Celtics, or the Lakers versus Cleveland? Do y'all have a playoff matchup that finals matchup that y'all believe would be better than those two?
I would love to report live that Jimmy Butler is alive and well. My brother has 16 points, and it's the start of the second quarter. Somebody who actually has the Mamba mentality who's going to be effective. But anyway, I just had to throw that out there. Needless to say, I think he soars over his heathen today. Kyle Tucker, if you listening, brother, I pray at your next at bat that you go yard. Godspeed. Godspeed, man.
No, I don't think there's a better finals um, other than the Lakers and the Celtics because that would be the cream of the crop from both sides. We feel like,
But yeah, not even it's just like simplistically being them like Braun trying to get his next ring with Luca, as well as the Celtics trying to
the
go back
story's
to
way better
back.
all around.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And like narrative in the NBA's pillars, like you know what I'm
Yes,
saying.
it is.
Wouldn't be
They just
surprised
brought
if
them out of
those whistles, like if we see
it.
The Lakers and the Celtics both end up in the conference finals. I would hate to be the opposing team because those whistles are going to be in favor of a Lakers
hmm
Celtics matchup.
Yeah, you're gonna have to really be dogs,
Yeah, you're gonna have to
bro. You never
be.
said who had mama mentality to you.
Thank you, my
Uh,
friend.
I don't. I'm not really vested in like the moral mentality these guys these days. Dame is no
You
like
set us
yeah.
up.
Hey, come on, that's not fair.
Oh, man. I moved
It's
on
just
for a
But
reason, man.
I can't kick. You know, Kobe to walked out the damn stadium on him.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
I would go Dame,
So,
but Dame he's not clear to play, and yeah, I mean y'all said good names. We got the content we needed there.
No
Uh,
LeBron James.
I mean,
He's definitely an
sh-
honorable mention in my book for
I
sure.
don't, I mean, you brought up like you put the question in the chat, but I was more so thinking upon like the unexpecteds. You know what I'm
I
saying?
like
Facts.
Pablo was good.
But I mean, hey, yo, LeBron low key has creeped into the unexpected based on his age
Nah,
and playing that season the way he's played. He's
nah.
played a marvelous season, and
LeBron,
he usually kind of runs out
LeBron,
of gas at his age.
LeBron.
So he kind of
I'm familiar with your game. It's the playoffs. I respect you as accordingly. um,
facts, facts.
I don't know. Like I know Dacius and Isaac are like supreme Lakers fans, so like the next was to ask about like playoff predictions, but I feel like it's just Lakers and five for y'all and too much to talk about.
Yeah. Right. 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 Exactly.
I guess the last time.
I mean, unless the Rockets make it to the finals, and then the Rockets in 6 or 7.
Yeah, yeah. Sweep ain't gonna
Not
happen.
gonna lie to you, bro. Rockets make the finals this year.
Yeah, we get the winner out of this Golden State Memphis game right now.
I don't care who we play.
Give us Memphis. I don't want Golden State.
Exactly.
I don't. I ain't gonna lie
I
to you.
do
I
care.
don't want to
I do
see
care.
a
I ain't
pissed
gonna
off
lie.
Steph Curry in my life. I'm so
Stay
sorry.
away from that man.
Steph
Defense is
Curry
defense. That's cold and it's cool.
made
But a pissed off
meet
Steph
our
Curry does not
man
sound appealing.
Thompson. Amen.
So sorry.
Like shit, I do, bro. Like, and Chris Paul gonna get injured. I'm like, nigga, you get injured now.
Chris Paul.
You get injured right now,
After the
Chris
bro.
shimmy,
Y'all
Paul.
playing the Warriors.
after you shimmy them, you got hurt. It was telling me. You pissed them off, did the shimmy, and then you got hurt. Oh damn.
All
I
right,
made that
so
boy touch earth when he was in LA. But
why do y'all have as y'all MVP? Jokic or Shea? Who are y'all giving the MVP to?
Shai.
I'm giving it to Shai.
Best player on the best team. They had a winning
I'm
record. I'm
sorry.
going
I'm
real
sorry,
political
bro.
answer because that's typically who gets it. Your individual performance has had the most profound impact on your team as it clearly equates to winning. I have the number
Yeah.
one seed. I have the most wins in franchise history. Have the most wins in the league. Best defensive win share for a team. Again, with the guy who averages the most points in the NBA leading the way on that team. And by the way, he also, I believe, leads the league in steals as well. On that, probably Dyson Daniels, but I want to say SGA is top three. But just from the merit and letter of the law, I give it to Shea. Obviously, Jokic has had an amazing season, but it hasn't really equated to winning. It hasn't impacted winning, and I think because he has a lesser team, and the defense just hasn't been there, that he's going to struggle to get those votes. They're going to give it to Shea, man. Shea going to be MVP, and that Paul George for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander trade will go down as probably one of the worst in history. But again, Paul George has been a proud recipient or participant, rather, in a lot of horrible transactions over the past few years. In his most recent stop, I think he's outdid them all, robbing the Philadelphia 76ers of 200 plus million, being as washed as these load of clothes are in my washing machine right now. And them motherfuckers done got washed 3 times because I forgot them in there a couple days ago. So them motherfuckers are washed. Like, washed. I want to put real emphasis on that.
Yeah, it's Shea for me because he done worked his ass off to be runner up and then worked his ass off to get it this time.
I think that Shea is the actual MVP. No, is the league's MVP, but I believe that Jokic is the true MVP.
What does that even mean?
It means that I feel like Shea technically played for the MVP, and I feel like Jokic played the game. I feel like he played basketball. He was a better player. I feel like
So when
I feel
MVP
like
talks were
I feel
still
like
kind of
every
up in
year
the
it's like that,
air,
man. Period. We've all seen it. It happened to James Harden a lot. James Harden played the right way and deserved MVP, but they gave it to other players. We've seen it
I
time and time
won't
again.
argue.
That's
I
all I'm
won't
saying.
argue
I
with
have to
you.
do that because I just feel like
Whoa.
it's what it is. Some players
I
go
feel
out there
like
and they
James
play
was
tough,
out
they
on the
play
ball.
right, play their team, they do all this great stuff, and they don't get MVP. And then you have this player who technically is like the team decided, no, you're going to be MVP and we're going to make it happen for you. Here goes the ball. Here goes your opportunities. Forget making us better or making us a better team as a whole. Boom. I just have to say that, man, just for the sports fans, for the guys like us who understand that. That's the only reason why I said that. But I'm not taking
Jokic,
away
So
from
you don't
Shea. He is the MVP, but I just have to put that little disclaimer in there. I'm sorry.
yeah, you on one with these backhanded compliments tonight.
Yes, sir.
But all right, I think the disconnect or maybe disrespect with Shea is people look at Shea's consistency with averaging 32 points per game and they out there treating him as if like, oh, well, all you doing is scoring. Where I look at it as Shea team needs him to focus solely on putting the ball in the basket. And if he isn't doing that, they aren't as great as they are. Jokic's team, due to injuries and lack thereof talent, needs him to do scoring, assisting, and rebounding. And so I feel like both of their impacts are relatively equal in terms of what they provide for their team, in terms of what their team needs for them. Of course, Jokic is absolutely great with what he does, but I don't think Jokic's rebounds and assists should lessen the impact of Shai mustering 32 points per night. Like that shit, it's not fucking easy to average a 30 ball in the NBA. I don't care how you try to argue about defense and so on and so forth. For teams to know you don't really have a definitive second option and know your goal is to give they knowing your goal is to get 30 to give your team a chance to win and constantly do it night in, night out. I think that's grounds for Jokic is great enough. I won't say unanimous MVP because I could understand how some votes could sway in his favor, but we have to stop with the lessening of like scoring the basketball because essentially, at its core, at its essence, that's the name of the game. Score the basketball. And Shea does that at a great, phenomenal level. Um, Better than Jokic, right? And so, and you compound that with the fact that his team is the best team in the league. I don't really think it's up for debate. Um, However, I hate the fact that it takes players being snubbed for them to start to get the proper recognition that they rightfully deserve. Whereas some people may try to argue Shea getting this MVP is a makeup from last season, but I negate that argument by simply saying Shea still went out this season and absolutely earned it. Now,
Da-da-da-da-da-da. I have breaking news.
who's going to be in the conversation for next season if we follow the context clues? Jokic is going to come in as the favorite because we're going because they're going to make up for feeling like he got snubbed this season. So yeah.
Breaking news. I'm buying a Kyle Tucker jersey. He actually respects coin. He was on his third at bat, bro. Hadn't hit anything. He gets a hit. I'm talking with a good brother of mine right now. He does want to remain nameless. So I'm gonna give him a shout out though, my boy Shaq. Um, I was just saying, I say, bro, I channel my NBA young boy. I say, bro, do you really think Kyle Tucker could like do something? You think he's stealing a base? He said, nah, bro, Kyle Tucker don't really steal bases like that. And would you know by the grace of God, this nigga just stole a base to
Oh.
fucking cash my money. That's all I had to say, bro.
Shout out Kyle for
Shout out
respecting
Kyle Tucker, man. The
for
ex-Houston
respecting
Shout
the
native.
out
I'm
Kyle
going
game.
to
Tucker.
I'm buying his Houston jersey. I'm not getting that Chicago shit. Yeah.
H-Time holding down. Shout out to Kyle Tucker, babe. Straight up, straight up.
Right off.
Uh,
Wow. That's nuts, though. You gotta say, bro, that's nuts.
Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
I literally need Jimmy Alfalfa Butler like the air I breathe.
No air, no air. Oh, before we go, can we get y'all's I would say Coach of the Year. I won't put y'all on the spot because I'm thinking Ime Udoka, but he's not even in like the top three in terms of like the betting odds to win Coach of the Year. I think that's blasphemous. But for the playoffs start, who do y'all have winning the well Darnell rather? Who do y'all have winning the championship?
Coach of the year, the championship.
You can give me Coach of the Year if you have it, but more so the championship.
The coach for the Pistons. What's his name?
Pistons head
Yeah,
coach.
and Chet and the
I
Rockets.
think it's is it
Um,
Atkinson? I
the
believe it's
Rockets.
Atkinson.
Uh,
No,
Damn,
it's
we
not
got to give
Atkinson.
one.
JB Bickerstaff.
We got to go one, right? Yeah, we
Yeah.
can only pick one. All right, I got to go with the Lakers. Shit.
Okay, like so.
Yeah.
I
Damn,
know
I want to do
this
an honorable mention.
the circumstances are wildly different. Sitting here looking at the bracket, and if I just do process of elimination,
The
Uh,
Warriors could get it too, though. Pause.
it's between
You mute,
barring
bro.
bar. No, I'm not.
No, I'm talking.
Uh,
Darnell. I felt like you was talking.
barring injury from the East is between. It's still the Celtics is to lose, I believe. As long as Jared Allen is on the Cleveland Cavaliers, Mister, the lights were too bright. I will never believe in the Cleveland Cavaliers having playoff success as long as Jared Allen is on their team. Last year or year before, when they asked him, "Yo, y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all didn't really play that great. Like, what happened is they got eliminated." He said, "I don't know. I think maybe the lights were too bright." And I don't. You don't say that after a playoff loss. I was gonna try to shoot him some bail and be like, maybe he was being sarcastic because I've only seen the quote. But you don't say that after a playoff loss. So as long as Jared Allen is on that team, they'll never amount to anything with that mentality. All right. After that, it's the Celtics to lose in the East. So I think the East is still theirs through and through. No Damian Lillard. The Bucks don't have a chance. All right, where it's always tough. The West, we know we getting Oklahoma City. They're getting up out of here. I think them getting to the conference finals will be a big accomplishment for them with no true definitive second option. Um, I believe Jamal Murray should have came back a whole lot sooner if he could have. I don't believe he's going to be able to flip the switch to provide them the energy, the production that they need to make a deep run. I think that injury is way more uh serious or what have you. And then they also got rid of Malone, Coach Malone here recently. So they're not really going far because they're not on the same page uh with the coaching staff and the front office. So let's get the Denver Nuggets up out of here. Timberwolves, let's just get them out of here. No need to talk about them. Houston Rockets, I think an unfortunate injury and we could shock some people and maybe get past the second round. I definitely like our chances with obviously the Memphis Grizzlies, but bro, I really like how Ime Udoka like has given us this identity of being a tough physical team. So like I'm not running from the Warriors at all. If we gotta face them, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. I think we could beat them in a 7 game series. I think it's just time. It's just time. I believe in Ime Udoka for us to be able to get out of the first round. We get out of the first round. We have to play likely the Lakers. Uh, LeBron James won a championship with Kyrie Irving being down 3-1 in a series. If LeBron James can win a championship with Kyrie Irving as his second option, I don't understand how he could not find a way to win a championship with Luca. And I'm not sure what the Clippers are going to morph into with this playoff run. Kawhi seems to be very healthy this season. They're going into the playoffs. So anytime you got him and again James Harden, who's proven a lot to somebody on this show, I would not sleep. I would not sleep on the Clippers. I think it's between the Lakers, the Clippers. If I remove bias, I'm gonna say it's between the Lakers and the Clippers to come out of the West. Um, but Rockets make us
Are you
proud,
putting on
man.
record that you think that the Clippers are going to come out of the West?
Yes,
Did that come out of your mouth?
it's possible. I'm not guaranteeing.
You
It's
said it's
but
possible. Fuck that.
yes.
You said it's possible. That's enough for me.
Yeah, I think it's between the Lakers and the Clips to come out of the West, man. I'm not sold on. Yeah, I don't necessarily. I'm not sold on Golden State. Um, man, but who wins the
I
championship
have
though?
an update on Jimmy Alfalfa Butler. The man has 21 points in the first half and counting. I don't want to say that slipped it. I have as good as cash, but I'm gonna claim it in faith through Christ Jesus. That is
Mm-hmm.
done, and we gonna just touch and agree together because when two or three are in the midst, come on, man.
Amen. Amen.
What
Amen.
what 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 Usher say? Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful people.
No, we got to get.
Oh,
Well,
my
no,
fault.
no. You're a Lakers, so I know you got the Lakers winning it all.
No, that's. I mean, I do have a. Well, I'm a realist, right? I want us to win it all. And I know it'd be like, but Izzo, ain't you from Houston? Ain't you a Rockets fan? Yes. Please get off my dick in the comments. I can have more than one. Robert, I got more than one. I don't care. That's how I rock. I want the Lakers to win. However, I do understand that we are in dire need of a big. And going up against the teams that we're going to need to beat, we're going to need that in order to compete. And we just don't have that right now. So if we go up against the Boston, I would actually pick Boston to win unless LeBron just channeled his inner 2015, 2016 bag, which I don't know if he can anymore. I'll give
I
him a
think he
fighting chance
can,
against
bro.
anybody.
I,
If
if
you
if if
you give me
Luca,
If you give me 2015, 2016, Bron, I ain't even asking it for the whole playoffs. You give it to me for if you can just save it for one series, Bron.
which is to be the
One.
finals, yeah, I think
But you know what I think
Luca,
he tried to do that? He tried to do it in 18, bro. When he gave us 51 on that first game, once JR pissed away the game, he just said, nigga, I ain't giving no more energy to this shit.
that's demoralized, man.
I literally believe he said that because he just I never seen him that deflated and that animated on the sideline. And I know we getting him far away from the point, but to answer your question, I know you didn't want to ask it because you were just like, oh, I know you're a Lakers fan, but I actually would pick Boston to win it all if we did face them, just due to them being a complete team, a more complete team. And I am old enough to remember that Jaylen Brown did have Luca in literal hell last year in the finals. I did watch that. I know a lot of people don't like to talk about it because it's not the popular thing to do,
Yeah,
but Luca damn near couldn't dribble the ball up the court. I watched that. Nah, it was bad, bro. It was
yeah.
bad. When Jaylen Brown decided to hold Luca, it got ugly.
Jalen Brown, Anthony Brown, Nino Brown, Lakers is fine.
I'm, I'm with that. I'm. This is a smart man.
Yeah, man. Beautiful people. It's been a
Wow.
great, fantastic episode.
And
Um,
shout out to Emax Stats for hoarding all the great hoodies, respect the game merchandise, hoodies, sweatshirts, tees, uh, halter tops for the women, all that good stuff, man. We finna be at y'all neck like motherfucking, you dig me, turtlenecks, you smell me? Yeah, what my brother said, beautiful people and ugly people alike. We appreciate y'all.
yeah,
And we ain't saying
man.
ugly as in features, but you can be ugly on the inside. You ugly
Hey, man.
motherfucker.
Uh, Make sure you like this video, or you could dislike this video. But most importantly, please make sure you subscribe to the podcast. We love you, beautiful people. We will see you next week.